Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 24th of February, comes to you from London. And our thoughts are with the people of Ukraine this morning. We're seeing a lot of red on the screen as Russia fires missiles in there, and of course, gas prices have rocketed as the rockets have been going in, and so we are seeing markets really in turmoil. A lot of this, though, was predicted by the price target. So let's just take a look, and of course the cloud charts. Remembering the weekly, daily, and 60-minute chart is my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. We have been bullish on the dollar ever since really we crossed this cloud the last few months, and we've said that 2022 would be the year of the dollar. That was very much one of our big calls at the end of last year. And of course the dollar is a safe haven, so this war situation is playing into that, but the reality is the charts were already bullish, and this has serious implications for the euro. We've mentioned before there's some very big downside targets on the euro. They've been sitting there for a long time. 2014 was really the year that we saw that, ironically when Russia was annexing Crimea, but we saw those big downside targets, and that's really what we're seeing. So decreasing euro, and it's in a very weak position against the dollar. Looking at sterling, we've fallen back as well, so that stronger dollar having an impact. So sterling falling away, and against the euro, we're sitting steady at around 120. Sterling has the trend in its favour, the upper hand. Bitcoin is down 4% today, so that's falling away. Not yet through the cloud on the weekly, so as long as we hold that 30,000 level that we saw as the low in 2021, the $83,000 target will be there. We do have a downside target though, and it'll be interesting just to see whether we can actually recover. But for the moment, Bitcoin is looking a bit more bearish on their medium and short-term charts. The S&P 500 index fell further yesterday. No big surprises there. We've got these downside targets. We've been pointing to these for ages. They're now activated. They're activated on Tuesday, like we said they would be. And we are, of course, lower on the Nasdaq, some 25% lower. You've got stocks like Facebook down 45%. It's really significant moves. Looking at the futures, we're heavily lower. Of course, the S&P future is down 1.8%. The Nasdaq is down 2.4% on the future. So further falls today. Markets are set to go in free fall, and the VIX volatility is in the 30s. We are seeing that fear index now very fearful, and we've been pointing to this trend change for quite some time. We're seeing the FTSE future down 2.2%, the DAX in Germany down nearly 3%. The German economy very impacted by European gas prices, of course, with 40% of their gas coming from Germany. We're seeing the CAC 40 down by 2.6%. Tokyo was down by 1.3%. The Hang Seng, already in a vicious downtrend this year, down by 3%, heading to the bottom. And even Chinese stocks were down 1.7%. They're starting to look vulnerable as well. The Sensex in India down 4%. Of course, staples such as wheat and grains really having an impact on the Indian economy. And the Aussie market was down 3% as well. So markets across the board are plummeting. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute, but looking at some of the soft commodities, we've got sugar at 1%, but really where the big moves are coming is wheat. Now, Russia is the largest exporter of wheat in the world. Ukraine produces 10% of the world's wheat. That all gets shipped out of ports like Odessa in the Black Sea. And of course, Russia has attacked from the south, really starting to put question marks over the grain harvest. And that's causing prices to rocket. And we have had these bullish targets. We've been talking about these for a long time now. Corn up 5% this morning. And we've got much higher to run here, and again, watch the targets. We've got targets pointing higher still, and these targets were all given at much lower levels. Gold, of course, is a massive beneficiary. Just the word war is enough to push gold prices to new highs. And we are seeing gold rocketing this morning. And again, on your point and figure targets now, you're looking to these new upside targets. These ones on the long-term charts have been in place for ages. $2,400 is now absolutely activated on the gold chart. That's where we're going. $2,400 for gold. The targets just point there. You can't ignore the targets. Silver is up 2.5% this morning. That's looking strong. If we break through $30 on silver, well, it's going to really rocket. This is the big move, sideways consolidation, the next big move. We've got a target to $31 there. Looking at copper, it's sitting steady. It hasn't really moved as an industrial metal. And of course, a lot of this will just depend on global demand, but it is still holding the bullish trend. US 10-year yields falling back quite substantially as markets become a bit fearful about the idea that the raging economy and inflation is going to get carried away. We are seeing bond yields pulling back. So pulling back, but we do still have this target to 2.7% on the yields if we break to new highs. And of course, we are in an uptrend, so we should expect that to happen over time. Looking at the German Bund, 167.5 was the level. We're coming back and testing that from below, and German bond prices really have ended that 30-year trend. So it's really significant there. Tech today, all eyes will be on Apple. Almost certainly is going to activate this downside target, some 23% lower. So that's going to be really interesting. And of course, other stocks were doing this already. We mentioned Tesla as one of our bearish stocks. That's already headed to the target and falling away. And of course, Meta or Facebook is down massively below $200, and we were pointing to that in our monthly reports when we were hitting these targets at around 320. So we've really fallen away there. Taking a look at the energy mix, of course, prices are rocketing. Oil. We've talked of our long-term targets here for ages. In our oil report, which you will find in the special energy reports, we give you the targets. These were given back in January, and we've given all the price targets here. Medium term, we said 91, we were at 87, then 104, 125, and 150 as our target. These targets were given 5 weeks ago, so there's no big surprises going on here. Taking a look now at WTI, we're almost certainly going to break the $100 mark. We've got targets to 101.70 on that 1 minute chart. This is my daily and my 60-minute, medium term, short term. Daily, 60 minute and 1 minute, medium term, short term, and very short term. These are the charts that we use for calling what's going to happen today, and you should be watching these in real time on your screens, on your 1 minute data on Bloomberg, on Reuters, on Trayport. I say Reuters Refinitiv Icon. You should be watching these targets if you're trading these products. You really can't do without them. US Nat Gas, we're seeing here breaking higher, of course. 501 is the target, and we did say to clients this morning that we need to hold the key levels. That was in our morning report that goes out to clients every morning, and in fact you can see that in the energy markets. If you just go to all sources, here's today's targets, and there are the reports with all the targets, price targets in. So really, you just got to keep an eye on these markets. Coal pushing higher, up 11% this morning. We had a target to 150. We've been talking about that. We're now at 143. No big surprises there. Emissions have plummeted today, so we really have seen emissions falling and spiked right down. But watch the price movement here. Long term, the trend is still good, but we're seeing a lot of volatility in emissions. Gas prices up 30% on TTF and MBP. Again, no big surprises. Note how we hit the resistance level right on the cloud, and that's where we stopped on the daily chart. So that's really fascinating. Watch these targets build on your 1 minute chart. These are going to build in real time for you today, and just vary your box sizes if you need to look down to different levels as well. MBP, of course, is breaking higher, up 32% this morning. Watch the price action and the targets it builds. And of course, power markets. We put out a report yesterday on German power. We gave a massive upside target. We're already halfway there. You cannot ignore these targets when you see them. Here you see the target 225. That target was put in place back in mid-January. So really, There's no excuse for not seeing these price levels. That's what it's all about. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. Hang in there. Bye for now.